I'm Rahana Power.
And today we will be talking about political movies.
Ooh.
But first, I got something I have to get off my chest, Rahana.
Something deep in your heart.
It's
Just
quite
have to
serious.
discuss.
Like a
It
heart
is.
attack.
Oh,
It's
which
the
you
Dodgers
almost had. Yeah.
in the World Series. Game over. They're winning, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Full count. And this guy gets up to bat for team they're playing, the losing team.
Tampa Bay.
Who
Okay.
cares? Who cares
Put some
about
respect
Tampa
on
Bay?
their name.
No one shows up to their games. Even Tampa Bay knows it.
I mean, they're showing up now. No, they're not. Nobody's allowed to go.
You're right. They're all Dodgers fans in Dallas. But lastly, 2 errors. Not one, but 2 errors.
2 awful errors.
And they score 2 runs
Yeah.
to walk off.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
why?
the guy, the second run, like, he fell. He tripped and fell and was about to run back so he didn't get out, only to realize that the ball was lost and he could literally run straight to home, lands on it, hits the home plate, and they win. Like, it was, I watched it from many angles.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Thank God football's on today, and we can move past it. I guess there's another, game 5 here, but there will be a game 6, so it's like it doesn't even matter.
Oh, it matters. Like, what if? Here's the thing.
Well, today's game doesn't
Right.
matter, just because it's like
Either way,
okay,
there's a game 6.
No one's gonna
Right.
win. Yeah,
So here's the thing, though. Like, I feel like in big series like this, the World Series, like one like mistake or one little series of mistakes will happen to one team, and all of a sudden they will unravel from that. And I feel like it happens a lot in basketball. It like just all sorts of, like, what if that's what happens? What if they were like doing well, they were on the right track, and then these ridiculous errors happened, and all of a sudden the next 2 games are just blowouts and Tampa just takes it home? I'm just going to
No.
throw it I'm just going to throw it out there.
they're the most undeserving team
What?
of a World Series.
What? I think it's awesome that they're there. I am too,
That gives you hope as a A's and Twins fan.
yeah,
Huh?
much to Alan's chagrin, I am actually rooting for the Rays because I'm rooting for the underdog. That's who that is. They are the underdog. Like, the Dodgers have been here. They've done this.
Yeah.
It's fine. Let somebody else have it. It's Tampa Bay's turn. They've worked
They've had
hard.
It's been since 2018 since the Dodgers have come out.
It's
Give them another
okay.
championship.
Okay.
They're due.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, the hardest choice for me would have the Twins and the Dodgers. That's just like that
Yeah.
would have been tough.
No, I can understand that. I struggle anytime the Twins and the A's play, so I hear you.
But by the time this posts, it'll be over.
It will.
We'll know. So my frustrations just needed to be aired for the time in which they lived,
And
which is
if
Yeah,
you
pre-recorded.
and if you don't see Alan on Facebook for a while or Instagram or anything, just know that it's because he's sad and processing the Dodgers losing the World
it'll
Series.
go one of 2 ways: either nothing or
or all the
everything.
things.
It's just like
Seriously.
just too much. Alan, what are you doing? Are you okay over there? No.
Oh, it's going to be intense. I'm very excited.
Anyways, moving on.
So we're going to bring back the movie Decade Battle. But I wanted to bring it a little closer to today. I feel like there have been a lot of great movies over the last couple of years, and I was in the mood to talk about them, and so I'm bringing this in as my excuse. Having done that, I feel like we've already talked about 2009 before, so I didn't want to do 2009 and 2019. We certainly can't do 2020. And so...
It'd be a short list.
Yeah, be like, here's the 5 movies in the top 10. So I went 2018 and 2008. I'm just going to throw this out there. These lists are, like, could not be more different to me.
Was it like that one time when we had the kids' movies against the adult
Yes! That's kind of what this feels like. I'm going to throw that out there.
Something else interesting about those 2 years, both like a primary and a midterm election year. So I guess it kind of fits our theme.
Oh, yeah. Look at you, Alan. I like it. I did not put that together. Well done.
2018, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I totally put that together. It was on purpose, and I'm super good at this. Okay. So, all right. So we'll get started. The number 10 highest grossing film of 2008 was The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, if that just kind of tells you where we're going. Highest grossing, or 10th highest grossing film of 2018 was Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Okay.
I would like to hear your thoughts.
So this is worldwide, right?
Worldwide,
Yeah,
yes.
we're still doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see any. I saw like the first Narnia movie because I liked the old British one of the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. Turkish Delight and all that. And that's really all. No,
That's okay.
that's all. But I really like the original, but I don't know what Prince Caspian is, and I really don't care. Sorry. But I did like Fantastic Beasts. So.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen any of the Chronicles of Narnia movies, which I get a lot of slack for. And honestly, I think I would probably really like them. I just haven't. Anytime I sit down to watch a movie, I either have something already like, in my mind that I want to watch, or I'm just not in the mood for that. But,
Right.
Maybe someday. But the Fantastic Beasts movie, so I haven't seen either of them, but I am dying to see them. But
This was Crimes of Grindelwald?
yeah, so I think this is the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to see the first one first, but everywhere I look, whether it's like Best Buy or if I'm looking on any streaming service or anything, I can only find the second one. But I want to watch the first one first. So I'm struggling, and that's why I haven't seen this, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to absolutely love it because Eddie Redmayne, and yes, thank you. So yeah, I'm also going to go Fantastic Beasts.
Right. I mean, yes, you should see them in order, but the second one I think is a little better, I think.
Oh, really?
Because there's, in my opinion, because I think there's a little more action to it.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not common, so that's a good take.
Yeah, it kind of dives into more of the, Harry Potter history. And I'm just kind of like,
For us nerds.
I like that. Yeah. What house are you?
I mean, like, let's be honest, I'm Hufflepuff. I would love to be
Oh,
Gryffindor.
that's right. I think we talked about
I would love
that.
to be Gryffindor.
Maybe
I'm
off.
definitely Hufflepuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm Ravenclaw.
we
Yeah,
have.
we talked about this at some point.
We definitely
Yeah.
have. Nerd. Okay, so
Moving on.
the 9th highest grossing film of 2008 was WALL-E.
Oh,
Yeah, I feel like it
that's
shocked.
where we are today.
Yeah, it shocks me that was that long ago. That was 12 years ago. Bunkers. The number 9 highest grossing film of 2018 is Deadpool 2. Those are very different movies.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. I saw both.
Okay.
I mean, Deadpool 2, it's like they just had to, continue the shenanigans, really. So, and I did like Josh Brolin's appearance as Cable.
Yeah, he did so well. I really liked it.
And like the overtones of how serious that character is versus like how silly Deadpool is just a great contrast.
Yeah.
But Wall-E, it's a Pixar film.
Well, yeah, Disney Pixar, yeah.
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 Right. And I feel like that's very relevant to today because it's like we have all our robots doing things for us and we're just sitting on the couch at home or in our pods moving around, you know, with our Slurpees.
Oh my God, I'd love a Slurpee right now.
Well, get your, robot to go get one. So,
But it has to be a 7-Eleven Slurpee, and we don't have 7-Elevens here. I'm going off on a tangent.
yeah.
So you're...
Just, get your phone out and type in DoorDash Slurpee or something.
It's really sad. We could totally do that.
Yeah.
So you're going which way? I feel like you're a little in the middle here.
Yeah, I am. But I guess I'll lean Wall-E.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Interesting. I have actually not seen Wall-E. I remember it coming out, and I remember it was a huge thing, and everyone loved it. Like kids obviously loved it, but then adults were like, "This is actually a great movie," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine. No, I'm good. I'm all right."
Yeah.
And I just never saw it because I'm stubborn. And I love the Deadpool movies. I love Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. I'm torn on that too because I have
Yeah.
friends that worked on both Deadpool movies, so
Nice.
it's just like
So
Yeah,
we're going to become
I
best
like-
friends with them and then be in the next one? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, as long as we can move to Canada.
I mean,
let us in.
yeah, why not? Yeah, so I'm gonna go Deadpool 2. So
Okay.
we're 2018 on number 10 and then Split on number 9.
Because I can totally lend you Wall-E, and maybe I'll get it back before E.T.
I was just thinking about the fact that I should just mail that to you because at this point I don't even have a car, so I can't drive it to
Yeah,
you.
mail.
Yeah.
Mail's probably the only.
Yeah. Okay, so number 8, highest grossing film in 2008 was Iron Man, which was the start of the MCU, if you will.
Wow.
Which is crazy. That's also 12 years ago. 12 years of amazing films. Which is funny once we get further down this list. So number 8, 2008 is Iron Man. Number 8, 2018, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Ooh. Which one was that?
I have no idea. I've only seen one of the Mission Impossible movies, and it was at the drive-in,
it's the second
and I
one.
fell asleep
Wait.
about 30 minutes in because it was the third. No, I think it was the second movie. I was just really tired, and it wasn't my
Was
thing.
it?
So I don't know. This is probably that one,
Okay.
actually.
I feel like it's. I don't know. Yeah, that's the third one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty good. I did like that one. Rogue Nation was probably one of my favorites, but of the three, it goes Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and then Fallout.
I don't know anything that you're talking about.
The Mission Impossible.
No, I know.
Yeah. Since I know you love everyone involved with those films.
Goodness,
anyways.
no kidding.
Don't worry, there's more on the way.
Of course there are. So are you going Mission Impossible then?
So wait, what was the other one?
Iron Man.
Oh, of course. I'll have to go Iron Man. I mean,
Right?
Yeah. Tony Stark, come on.
Yeah, that was the start of it all.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. just taking back the reins, if you will, of his career too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if anyone remembers his drug problems, I mean, they did a great job, covering that up. Basically, like all his, problems back in what, the 90s was it, or
80s, 90s? I don't
80s,
even remember.
90s?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, for him to come back in such a big way, that's kind of a testament to like, you can turn things around no matter how bad they get. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll give it to Iron Man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as you kind of stated, the Mission Impossible movies are not my jam. Tom Cruise is not my jam. I understand that
That's
they're,
fair.
like, there's a reason there's 7,000 of these movies, and I get that. But I'm good.
Yeah.
And I am obsessed with the MCU movies. They will pretty much always win in any capacity for me. Like, I love them all. I get that some people like some and not others. Nope.
Right.
I'm there for all of them.
Yeah,
So much.
I was such, I always kick myself. I hope that one day they re-release Doctor Strange to theaters here during, all this madness.
Yeah.
Because that would be great, because I missed it in the theaters. I missed
Me
my
too.
opportunity there.
I did the same
Yeah.
thing, yeah. So, yeah, I go Iron Man as well.
Great.
All right. Number 7. All right, the number 7 highest grossing film of 2008 was Quantum of Solace.
Oh,
Yeah, little James Bond in there for you.
another James Bond. Jeez.
Yeah. And then the number 8, nope, just kidding, 7 highest grossing film of 2018, Venom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very different.
But both pretty action-packed, generally
Yeah.
speaking. Jeez, I guess, because I know I like Quantum of Solace. Honestly, I know a lot of people didn't. I didn't mind it as much. I thought it was very interesting about the, like, water and everything. Sorry, spoiler alert. Welcome to Movie Decade Battle.
It's been 12 years. Get it together, people.
If you're not a fan of James Bond, that's obvious if you don't know that now. So,
Right, yeah.
if you haven't seen it. But I like that theme of like there's that, and Wall-E had this like environmental theme / subtext to it. That her parallel theme, along with like technology and such. But yeah, just like these things where like I like that type of stuff when those are threaded into the narrative. But Venom, I really enjoyed it. I wasn't sure if I would like it because it's like it was a standalone kind of Marvel movie, you know, because at the time it wasn't like Marvel Studios, but because they were part of the group with like X-Men on that side of 20th century.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked it, and it had like the last appearance of Stan Lee. So
Oh, yeah.
that was his last cameo that was filmed. So
That's so sad.
yeah. So I'll lean Venom.
Okay, interesting. I actually liked Venom as well. I think that I had heard such bad things about it, and so I had such low expectations for it
Yeah.
that I ended up actually liking it. I also think that we watched it like at the cabin one night because it was like storming out, and so it was just sort of like a thing to do. And so
Okay.
like it just like it was enjoyable enough that I think that I enjoyed it more because I didn't expect it to be like much of anything. And then I was like, oh, this is definitely better than the trash people were saying it was. Plus I love Tom Hardy. I think that he's
Yeah.
a phenomenal actor. So I did enjoy Venom, but I actually really love the Daniel Craig Bond movies. I think he's excellent. And he like his Bond films actually got me into the Bond films
Yeah, like Casino Royale and such.
more than
Yeah.
I've never really cared much about the Bond films before. Like I understand what it is and it's a big thing and like the monumental, aspect that has for people, but like I don't know. It didn't really hit me until Daniel Craig, and so I really enjoyed that movie. I will definitely go Quantum of Solace on this.
Oh, okay.
The next one I think is very unfair, but that's fine. Like one of these is just poor that movie because of the other one. But the number 6 highest grossing film of 2008 is Madagascar: Escape to Africa.
Oh, no.
I loved the Madagascar movies, okay? But just for a second, we're going to hop over to 2018. I don't know how this was only number 6. The number 6 movie of 2018 was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Which I'm obsessed with. Like, so good. Rami Malek just blew me out of the damn water with this. Yeah.
I haven't seen that particular Madagascar film. Yeah, I do. I mean, yeah, the animals.
The animals.
What else can I say? I mean,
Spoiler alert.
But I have friends that really love and hate Bohemian Rhapsody.
That kills me inside to hear that.
But I mean, I didn't mind it. I thought it was enjoyable. You know, it's I'll have to go Bohemian Rhapsody, I guess. So
I love it.
Hey, sorry, Madagascar. I just haven't had time to watch 9.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
Whatever you got over there.
Right. I feel like
Why haven't they made Zootopia more? I mean, that
was a good one. Yeah, I liked that one.
Yeah. With the sloth at the DMV. Well,
I relate so much to that sloth. Oh my god. Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody for me, like, it was so monumental. Like, it was this huge thing.
Sure.
God, I can't even. Like, that should be number.
I mean, the music alone is good. I mean.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Right. Like, for me, I feel like that should be the number 3 movie here, looking at this list, instead of the number 6. I'm really disappointed in that. Anyway, okay. So, we're at number 5. We're halfway there. The number 5 highest grossing film of 2008 was Mamma Mia. Okay, cool. The number 5 highest grossing film of 2018 was Aquaman. Both surrounded by water, so there's that, right? Kind of similar.
Oh my gosh. Wait, 2008 again, it was
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia. I think I saw that.
Yeah, it had Amanda Seyfried. I don't know how to say her name. And Meryl Streep and Pierce Brosnan and Colin Firth and other people, I'm sure.
Because I know they made the second one more recently.
Yeah. Yes, this is like the actual Mamma Mia movie.
Yeah. I think I saw the original, but I didn't see the sequel, but I don't know. And then Aquaman. It's still in my queue.
You haven't watched it yet?
No.
Alan! Okay, you yell at me
I know
first.
Jason Momoa is great in Game of Thrones, but it's just, I don't know.
He's
I haven't
very
gotten
good
around
at this.
to it.
He's very good in this role. It's very cheesy.
Again, the same thing. People hate this movie for some reason. At least comic book fans, excuse me.
Here's the thing about that. I have issues with people. Everyone will find a reason to hate every single movie. And I'm no different. I have been very vocal about the fact that I hate Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Love Quentin Tarantino, hate the movie. What? But the thing is, people, especially with comic book movies and like Star Wars and all of that, they just get so, and I'm going to be mean here for a second, but quite frankly, I feel like they're mean about it. Yeah. Like they want it to be something so specific and they're just assholes about it. Like that's all that it is. Like they have to be able to step back and understand the like limits and constraints of a 2, maybe 3 hour movie, of like the budget of all the input that has to come in from every different, like stakeholder who is
and it's
put
Warner
in.
Brothers.
Yeah, so it's like it has to fit into all of these holes. And if it doesn't, then it's not going to happen. So at this point, the fact that it got made, like how long were we waiting for a Black Widow movie? And now thanks COVID. Like the fact that it's made, just shut up and enjoy it because it's a wonderful movie. Like that's what people need to do. I'm so sick of people being just rude because it's not exactly this tiny little like bit of what they want.
Right.
When it comes to movies like this and like Star Wars and stuff, it drives me nuts. They're like, well, this is totally unrealistic. Yeah, you're right. It's totally unrealistic. A man lives underwater. Of course it's unrealistic. Stop being dumb. Like, it drives me bonkers. Anyway,
Doesn't look like The Little Mermaid.
Right. Right. Oh my gosh. That's my rant. Anyway, continue.
I like it. I like your rant. That's good.
It
Stick
is
it
really
to the
cheesy.
nerds.
I will
They've
give it
been
to them.
asking for it since
Right?
high school.
Exactly. I'm a nerd too, but you just got to enjoy
Yeah.
it. Stop looking for reasons to be mad about everything.
Well, I guess I'd have to go Aquaman because I mean I do want to see it. It's just plus it was a Entourage movie before, like a fake Entourage movie
What?
before it was that and Medellin. Like both these movies were both made in some way, and we're just waiting on Queens Boulevard now. For all those who know Entourage know what I'm talking about, but they had all these fake movies that, you know, the star becomes in order to become like a big star, and Aquaman was one of them.
Really?
Yeah, and I
crazy.
thought that was very interesting. And then it's like, yeah, it's just a matter of time till they make that probably,
Right.
but it was a long time. So
Yeah.
but they knew it. They kind of had that in their pocket. It was like, yeah, this is going to happen at some point. We'll just make fun of it right now, or we'll, you know, add it into the culture.
Yeah.
10 or 20 or 15 years earlier, whatever. So I'll go Aquaman.
I like it. I also go Aquaman. I love Mamma Mia. Like, I love the actual, like the Broadway show. Well, the musical. We'll just go with that, the play. It was one of the first musicals that I ever saw on stage, and I just fell in love with it and with the music and everything. But I don't know, there's something about the film that just was a little less than the stage version that I'd seen for me.
Oh, sure.
And so that might be why I'm a little less attached to it. But also, as I'm sure everyone can assume by this point, I love Aquaman.
Yeah.
I love Jason Momoa. Again, it's cheesy. It's supposed to be cheesy. Get over it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I'm going Aquaman as well. The next one, the two kind of, this is an interesting matchup. So 2008, the number 4 highest grossing film was Hancock with Will Smith.
Oh.
In 2018, the number 4 highest grossing film was Incredibles 2. So it's a couple of like superhero-y movies.
Yeah. I think for this one I'll have to go Hancock.
Yeah.
I mean, I like The Incredibles, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
Hancock is just, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Will
with you on
Smith.
that. He's so good. I love everything Will Smith does.
Yeah.
I really do. It was fun. It was a different take on, you know, like a superhero movie,
Right.
which I really enjoyed. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, fresh of the not so fresh like genre.
Right. Exactly. Are you making coffee? An espresso?
Maybe.
And if so, are you bringing me one? I will never say no to coffee.
Yes.
Just gonna throw that out there.
I'm just starting my day off right here in the middle of the podcast.
I love it. Okay,
No
so
one
then
can hear that. You
No.
heard nothing.
That was the cat. I mean, come on. So the number 3 highest grossing film in 2008 was Kung Fu Panda.
Okay. I like that.
There's a movie I haven't thought about in a while. Yeah, me too. The number 3 highest grossing film in 2018 was Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Jeez.
Yeah, those are pretty drastic. What do you think?
I think it's interesting so far on this list. When I think about the decade in between these two, like both these films and all the films we've kind of covered, just how much technology has just advanced. I mean, we're talking like, I guess Kung Fu Panda was kind of 3D animation, but not entirely. You know what I mean? At least not like in the gaming sense, maybe. But and then you think about, you know, this film. So, jeez, what do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll think about it here.
So Kung Fu Panda, I enjoyed. You know, I think it was a really good animated film. I like the cast. I like what they did with it. It was fun. I liked it. I really enjoy the Jurassic World movies.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. Is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy them. I don't know. I feel like it's not super common. Like, there's obviously examples, but for, you know, a series to be picked up, you know, like a decade later to be continued the way that the Jurassic World has.
Right.
Where it succeeds. You know, it does well. Like, we have, you know, Star Wars. It worked, regardless of what the nerds say. But you know, like, it worked. And like Jurassic World, I think, is one example of that. Where, you know, it wasn't expected, it wasn't necessary, but it worked, and I really enjoyed it. I will go Jurassic World.
Yeah, I mean, Fallen Kingdom was definitely one I wasn't thrilled about. Just hearing about what it, kind of the preview and what it was, I was just kind of like, The first, like, Jurassic World was good, but why, how does this make any sense, you know? I mean, seriously, what did you do?
I mean, just wait until the next one.
I know, right? Whenever that,
I think it's
2022.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, they pushed it out because someone got COVID on the set. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they shut down production. Yep.
That's tough, man.
And then Kung Fu Panda. Gosh, I do like Kung Fu Panda though.
Right, it's really good.
Even the second one, yeah. Second and third. Jeez. I don't know. This is this is
if
not
you think
fair.
this is hard, you're not going to be able to answer number 1.
Okay.
I tell you that right now.
Yeah, because I will go with Kung Fu Panda.
Okay, I like it. Okay. The next 2, I have very strong feelings about. I'm just going to throw that out there. So number 2 for the highest grossing films in 2008 was Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which I think, wasn't that the one where it had Shia LaBeouf in it as his kid?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I never saw that. And then the 2018 second highest grossing film was Black Panther.
Oh, well, lights out. It's Black Panther.
1000%. That is one of my, like, top favorite MCU films. Like, I love that film. I was already in love with, like, I wanted to marry Chadwick Boseman so bad. Like, a long time ago. And then having him as Black Panther was amazing. He was perfect. He was one of the best humans to ever, human. And yeah, that film was good in every way. Like, I don't know how anyone can watch that and not love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lost our Black Panther. That's unfortunate.
It was awful. I cried for fucking days, man.
I mean, I couldn't
I was
believe
so
it when I
sad.
saw it. Like, I had, like, I think I saw it on, like, something across Instagram, and then it was like, wait a minute, what? No.
Mm-hmm.
You're joking. This is not real.
Yeah, I was gone for the day. I came home and Jer was like, "Did you hear?" And I was like, "What?" Thinking it was something about like sports or something, or like maybe something political had happened, or like something that I just missed. And he was like, "No, you need to sit down and you need to look on your phone." Because like knowing the moment that I look anywhere, like whether it's, you know, like one of my news apps or like Facebook or something, it would pop up, and I saw it and I just started crying. I was like, I hate this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, awful.
And it was cancer, ultimately.
Right? Oh, it kills me.
So I guess just more reason to get checked out, I guess, for everyone.
Yeah. So, Black Panther all the way. Chadwick Boseman for life. So this next one, I think this next one might be the best like battle that we've actually had so far. I have very strong feelings, as I'm sure everyone will be able to assume, but I think that I think you could easily make a case for either of these.
Yes.
2008, the highest grossing film was The Dark Knight.
Ooh.
I mean,
I have a
Heath
feeling what the
Ledger.
next one is.
yeah, you 100% know.
Yeah.
I mean, Heath Ledger, like that performance. And then we lost it, like, oh my God, so many feelings.
Right.
So many emotions. Okay. The highest grossing film of 2018 was Avengers Infinity War.
Mm-hmm. I think I know my answer. But wow, it's DC versus Marvel.
Right?
How,
And it's like two huge movies for those two, too. Like, it's not just
Yeah.
like,
a decade
like-
apart.
yeah. Oh, man.
Interesting, because we also had Aquaman and Iron Man on either side. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So it was like Marvel was down there and DC's up here in 2008. And then
Yeah.
2018, it's reversed almost. So
Yep.
interesting. Wow.
And I mean, Marvel was the top two spots in 2018, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Marvel just... Wow. Okay, good job, Disney.
Yeah, right?
I actually... Funny story before we make our picks. I met a guy in L.A. when I was out there in 2015 who was originally part of the business team that put together the acquisition team to take both Star Wars and Marvel into Disney.
Really?
Yeah, because they had, on the business side, they originally, like, you know, they, in order to acquire Lucasfilm and Marvel Studios, I mean, that was a business decision. So I met someone who was on that business team who originally was like, we're going to take these two. I think that makes the most sense. So, and they were right. So,
Wow.
yeah. Crazy.
That's no kidding.
When he handed me his business card, he had like the Mickey Mouse logo on it, like of Mickey Mouse, and he's like, "Yeah, it's kind of silly. It has like a kid's cartoon on it." I'm like, "No, Mickey Mouse is OG." So
Yeah.
I was just letting him know. Yeah,
Right.
that means something.
Exactly. Yeah.
But wow, I have my pick ready to go. What's your pick? I'm curious.
I mean, okay. So my pick is obvious, but I have to qualify it.
Yes.
The Dark Knight is my favorite of like that whole trilogy that they made and any other Batman movie that came before it.
Yes.
I didn't care about the Batman films until The Dark Knight.
Interesting.
It like opened the door for me to like go like really enter into the DC universe. And then I fell in
DC.
love with it. Yeah. And then I fell in love with that movie.
Just comics in general then.
Yeah, The Dark Knight
Okay.
Rises, and then even the DC movies that we have now, like love them. So that like it was big, and I like Heath Ledger's performance was mind blowing, and then the fact that we lost him after this role, you know, like that was also really hard.
Yes.
Because his acting was astonishing, like his talent. On top of the fact that he just seemed like, you know, a good, decent human being as well. Loved that film. But I'm a sucker for the MCU, and I mentioned that earlier. MCU all day, day, especially the final couple like Avengers movies where they're all together. Just I could watch them every single day and I would be happy, and I'm not exaggerating. Like the first Avengers movie I saw in theaters 6 times, which is not something I've done for any movie ever. Like I've never seen a movie in theaters more than once, except for Avengers, because I'm obsessed. And
I have a question for you though.
Fucking love Infinity War. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you picked Infinity War. I have to ask you though. So did you see the other Batman movies because of Dark Knight?
Which other Batman movies? Like the
Like
old
the
ones?
Michael Keaton ones?
I had seen them. I just didn't like. They were fine. You know.
You should watch them again now as an adult, maybe too.
Yeah, I honestly should. Batman is information nobody cares about. Batman is my boyfriend's favorite superhero, and so at any time, if I ever said, "Hey, let's watch those," I think Michael Keaton was his favorite Batman too. He would probably drop like all life to do that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I just didn't really care about them at the time, but I would probably go back and rewatch them. I do like Michael Keaton. He's dope. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd love that, I'm sure. And it's a safe one for Halloween.
That's true. I like that. That's a really good point.
Yeah. Okay. I know this comes out after Halloween, but you know.
That's fine.
Where we pre-record these.
Right, right.
I have to go Dark Knight.
Ooh.
The hallmark of a great film for me is its ability to make you want to watch it again and again. Mm-hmm. And The Dark Knight just has that X factor for me. Just that chemistry between Batman and Joker played out through Heath Ledger and Christian Bale is just great. And I know, yes, Heath Ledger dying is
awful.
It's just like Chadwick Boseman dying. It's just like it's two characters that just are irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And now what? It's like he had made the second of 3, planning to have Heath Ledger back in 3. What could have been, you know?
Right.
Because that Joker and that Batman, that will never be duplicated. It's just, unfortunately, so.
Yeah. That's understandable.
But yes. Just that rivalry that's been, with us for so long, I think that's a classic one that may never die. So,
yeah.
But I loved Infinity War, all things being said.
Yeah.
Or all things being equal.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. I think there was just a lot of CG that when, obviously both films had a lot of, animation and visual effects to it. But just like the bike chase to the, everything about The Dark Knight was just, the story is just so beautiful. I mean, I understand Infinity War had the same convergence of stories, but it took them so long to get there.
Yeah.
And Dark Knight, it just happened all at once. It's just like beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's my reason.
Do you think random question, thought, like thinking about DCU or the DC and the MCU. So, if The Dark Knight came out the same year as Iron Man, do you think that they were trying to do with the MCU, create the MCU, to be similar to what the Christian Bale, like, Batman movies were? Because those were so I mean, obviously more of a comedy versus the intense drama, but, like, make it that big of a thing, you know, the pop culture thing. And then that ended up taking off and to where we are 12 years later with that being huge. And then because Christian Bale stopped being Batman and Heath Ledger's gone and all these things, we've been trying to like do the same thing with DC, and it's just not kicking off in the same way that the MCU did. But MCU was maybe triggered by them.
No, I don't think they're related. Because Christopher Nolan, when he decided to take on the trilogy of Batman, starting with Batman Begins, I mean, that's a completely different narrative than... Because it was kind of more anti-comics in that sense, because this wasn't the Batman we kind of knew before.
Yeah.
This is more like your Frank Miller Batman or something, you know. It's just very different. And then, obviously, DC tried to lean into that with, like, Batman versus Superman, and they tried, but, I mean, that wasn't bad. I mean, that and, like, Man of Steel, just darker tones. But I think, like, Marvel went a different way with it.
Yeah.
So they wanted to keep people coming back, and they approached it a little differently. So they're different filmmakers. When you look at people like Christopher Nolan versus everyone else they've had as directors, like Jon Favreau and all those throughout the Marvel side, it's just a lot different stylistically.
No, absolutely. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Good talk.
Yeah. So we're kind of at odds end on the list.
That's
but,
okay.
You know,
I feel like they were all good choices.
But yeah, I think 2018 did have much sharper contrast to 2008, minus the last film. But yeah. Good talk. Good talk. Good battle. Good battle. Who won?
Both. I feel like it was pretty across the board, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
So let's transition into what we're really here about today.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody's aware of this or not, but there's an election going on. Election day is coming up very soon. Right? Yeah. Good question. So I actually voted early this year, which is the first time I've done that.
Same.
I've always only ever gone to the polls the day of, even for primary. Just so this was an interesting experience. I wasn't initially planning on doing that, but I was talked into it by my boyfriend, just because, like, you know, what if our polling location is closed, and then the polling location we have to go to, because in my head I was like, there's never anyone there. So it makes sense that it will be closed.
Right.
Right. Like, if, you know, the place we go to, like, what if that ends up being super busy? And I was like, that's a good point. So we did the mail-in ballot thing, which I really liked, actually, because I was able to sit down with it and really, like, look at each person on the ballot and research them in the moment to make my decision.
No surprises, like, oh, I didn't know this was on there or something.
Exactly. Yeah. So I really liked that. And then... put the envelope in the envelope in the envelope in the envelope, signed everything, mailed it out, which was awesome. And in Minnesota, you're able to track those too, which I think is really cool. Yes. And like, it'll tell you once it's been like counted and accepted and all that, which is awesome. So yeah, I just recently did that. Did you do the same type of voting, or did you like go into an early polling place and vote? Oh yeah,
I did the absentee way, early voting. It was much more efficient, especially with like COVID. And then I'm my I guess district, they call it, is kind of the same. where the polling place is not busy. Normally, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure with COVID, it probably won't
Yeah.
be. But yeah, I voted early. I was able to look at the ballot, take my time to really make a choice, and then, yeah, track it and then see it was received, it was processed, and then now it will be counted. So it was just kind of like nice to see that, like, process instead of, I mean, it's nice to get the sticker. I wish I had gotten a sticker, but, you know.
I was really hoping they were going to put the sticker in the envelope that they send out. I was really sad about that.
You just did this for the sticker. Admit it.
That's all I vote for is the sticker, you guys.
Yeah. But to help reduce the spread of coronavirus, I figured that was a better option.
Absolutely, yeah. And it was so easy, like you said, really efficient.
Yeah, and I'm done with it. Like, and the whole social media game out there where it's like, vote, vote, vote. I like that, you know, as long as you let them know in the cloud version of you that you voted, they'll leave you alone. They'll be like, oh, well, we can't advertise to this person because they've already voted.
Ooh, tell me more about that. Because I am not aware of this.
So algorithms track, like, who hasn't voted or who's a swing vote, maybe, potentially, whatever that means.
Right.
And it's just kind of like, okay, I voted. Now leave me alone.
Like it. I think,
it's just so much noise.
Yeah, exactly. We were watching SNL last night, and the ads that were coming on, it was like every other ad is, you know, political ad and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like the closer we get to November 3rd, the more, like, really negative ads you see. And I think I'm very Leslie Knope in the way that I don't appreciate those ads.
Right.
Like, I take the candidate less serious if their ad is spent telling me not to vote for someone versus telling me why I should vote for them.
Right.
And some of the ads, I mean, it's paid for by some other group or something. And so it's just saying, don't vote for this person. It's like, well, who would you like me to vote for? Tell me about them. Because otherwise I'm not going to take you seriously. Like, I don't take this last 30 seconds seriously.
I think most Minnesotans don't like the negative ads because I noticed in the last midterm that there was a ton of negative ads for this one candidate somewhere in our state. I wasn't a part of that voting, but it backfired on them because they went so negative on a candidate. It's just like, you said nothing about your candidate.
Exactly.
So,
like,
that, and that other candidate got all the mentions.
Right.
So it's like,
that's who they're going to think about.
Oh, he's running.
Yeah. Like, oh,
who else
I know
is running?
that.
No one else is running. Yeah. There's no one else running against him, but okay.
Yeah. And at that point, if that's what your ads are, I'm going to immediately assume that what you're saying is probably not true, or you're misconstruing it and taking it out of context to make it sound like something you want it to sound like, instead of just saying, like, giving an entire quote or I just assume that you're up to something. And then on top of that, I assume that because you're not telling me about yourself, that it's because
you have nothing to say.
You don't have a position, or you know your position is not going to be liked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Plus, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good to vote early to get it out of the way.
Yes. Do it up, you guys. I'm gonna keep.
No matter what side you fall on, you should vote, and vote early if possible.
Yes.
Make a plan, as they say.
Yeah. And that way on November 3rd, you don't have to worry about it. All you have to do is...
Yeah, seeing as it's November 2nd that this comes out, sorry, you have to go to the poll.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's
if
true.
you haven't.
That's a good point. But that's okay. Still, go vote. If you haven't already voted, if you didn't vote early, then go vote tomorrow. It's really important. I'm really curious to see the percentage of voters this year, because I think 4 years ago, question mark, it was either 2 years ago in the primary or 4 years ago, we were like just above 55%. It was like 55.5% or something of eligible voters.
Yeah, that was 2018.
Yeah, and
midterm.
And I was like, my God, I would love to see that be like 85, 90, 95%. Like, Let's just jack up that percentage. And seeing so many like more early voters this year and like percentages than any other, the last couple of elections or something, it gives me hope.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah.
But yeah, it makes sense. I like that there are higher numbers of voters. Again, it doesn't matter how or who you vote for or anything. It's just vote early, vote as often as you can.
Yeah.
Because I hate the whole, postmodern apathy of like, oh, it doesn't count. And it's,
Yeah, like, it's...
Obviously it matters because, like, 2016 and 2018 are, like, hallmarks of that reasoning. So you have no basis if you win or lose. It's not like a rigged game.
Exactly.
Because... let's face it, no one gets what they want here.
Yeah. Which, all we can hope is to move in the right direction. And that can't happen without voting. Vote, 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 vote.
Participation.
Vote.
Yeah. And it goes beyond just, obviously, the primaries, like the midterms, and even just local, state stuff year to year.
Yeah.
So,
oh, God. Yeah. Local stuff is so important. And I will be honest, I had never paid attention to local elections before until this year. And it's so fucking important. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Research the people. Because they're especially who is representing you.
Yeah. And what determines basically your life, the way your life goes, kind of in your city.
Yeah. You can't complain if you don't vote.
But yeah, I recently, Sarah Silverman started a podcast.
Which I love.
Yeah, I love Sarah Silverman. I have this unreasonable expectation on like my dating apps, right? Add the age of however old Sarah Silverman is on the off chance she's in my radius.
I love it. Oh man,
it's so unreasonable because she's maybe she'd be here for a political thing, but
yeah, I hear you.
That's where my I keep raising the roof for her. So
I love it.
Anyways, she had this thing about cancel culture, which I thought was interesting. She posted recently, within the week since this is the November 2nd, about like her friend who was a former neo-Nazi and how he got out of that and helps other people get out of those cults that are hate groups, basically. But what draws them to it is like the love factor. There is a sense of community and love. And I think that's happening with like politics. Which makes sense, You want people who share your point of view, But I think we need to be okay with the fact that, we can't always agree on everything. Otherwise, what kind of world would we be living in, which, kind of evens things out. So,
yeah, I think she did a really good job of explaining the situation, like that example from her friend, and really kind of helps us like with that perspective of like, okay, however many years later, like someone who, and it's sort of similar to like, I don't know, other like cult things where, someone is out of it and saying, this is how I grew up, or this is like the situation I was in, and I basically had to be in it because of X, Y, or Z.
Right.
Like my life was threatened otherwise, or like I didn't have a choice or something, whatever. And if that's where your community is, it's an awful place to have a community, and it shouldn't even exist. But like, imagine the community that you have, and you you have to get out of there, but you have nothing else. Like the idea of like then trying to help others to understand that there's more out there and there's a better way to live, and the fact that he's helping other people, I think is fantastic.
Right.
So yeah, I thought I'm very excited for her podcast. I'm excited to listen to it. I think she's wonderful, and I like her
Funny.
opinions on things.
Yeah.
She's very funny. Inappropriate, which is wonderful. I love it.
Appropriate?
Inappropriate.
Oh, inappropriate. Okay, yes,
Yeah.
I was going to say.
No, she's definitely not appropriate, which is the best.
Not safe for work.
That's why I love her.
Yeah. Except
yeah.
you're working from home as long as you're on mute.
Right. Yeah, definitely
So-
on mute.
So getting into the movies we're going to touch on briefly here.
Yeah, so there's just a ton, buckets full of political films. And Alan and I were talking about this before. This is like looking into this episode, I realized how few political movies I've seen, which is crazy. I guess I didn't realize it. So I have a new list of films that I want to watch. But there are a few that we've both or one of us or the other have seen that we think are really key, really good. And then a couple fun ones too.
Yeah.
And since, as unfortunate as it is, we had a legend pass away over the last, what was it, like a month ago now? It couldn't have been, a couple weeks ago. We wanted to start with her films. So the notorious RBG, she has a documentary out that's on, is it Hulu, Ellen? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's out on Hulu, about her life, about all the work she did. Her family is in it, her kids and her granddaughter, and everything. It's really moving. And, I think
good documentary.
yeah, it really says a lot to, the character she had and the type of person she was, and the fact that, everyone, like, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, everyone loved her because you couldn't not. She's an amazing human being, wanting the best for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, RBG. I think it's just called RBG. I think it was once called Notorious RBG until maybe they rebranded it. I don't know.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Funny. Oh.
I think that was just a joke for like some sort of campaign that they did
Yeah.
to match it with Notorious B.I.G. But anyways.
Right. Yeah.
Which many people mistake it for. But anyways. She's
Exactly.
a little different.
She was amazing, though. I also watched and highly recommend On the Basis of Sex.
Oh, that's on my list.
Which has, it's got, is it Armie Hammer and Felicity? Oh, I don't remember her last name.
Yeah, she was in
but-
what?
Rogue One.
Rogue One. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So she's fantastic. She does a really good job of being RBG.
Well, good.
Yeah, I thought that she did a really good job. It was kind of hard to watch in a couple spots, just knowing, like, understanding that at the time, women aren't allowed to do things like just all of the hoops she had to jump through. She had to be the best in her class and was still told no on multiple levels. She, did her work and her husband's work and raised the children and went to school and all of this stuff, was the top of the class, graduated, and then couldn't get a job because no one would hire a woman.
Right.
Like, it's just unbelievable. And then once she finally got this case with her husband that they were both going to represent, and, like, she had all this backing and everything, she was basically being told, you can't do this. You're not, enough. Like, you're too much to be able to actually represent this, and they're not going to take you seriously, so you can't do it. And she did it anyway, and she was amazing.
Right.
And obviously groundbreaking.
Felicity Jones.
There we go. Thank you. So yeah, highly recommend that movie.
Oh, Justin Theroux's in it.
Yep. Yeah, he has a fun character.
He always has a fun
Kathy.
character. Come on.
He does. Kathy Bates is in it. So yeah, it's an excellent movie. So I recommend watching both that and the documentary because they're very moving.
Yeah. Awesome.
The next movie that I've got on our list is it's a political movie. It's not our politics.
Yeah.
I get it. Jim Gaffigan said it best. It's all McDonald's, and if it's about the
Yes.
the royal family in England, it's actually Burger King. It's not even ours. I get it. That's fine. But The King's Speech.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful movie. It's a true story. Colin Firth, Jeffrey Rush, Helena Bonham Carter. Go watch it. It's really, really well done. It's interesting because it's something I didn't know about until I saw the movie. I was not aware of this, but so King George the Fourth, I think.
Sixth. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. I knew there was a V and an I somewhere in there. So his brother was king. He abdicated the throne, and he became king.
Mm-hmm.
King George did. He did not want to be king. He had no interest in being king, but he had to. And he had a stutter, like a serious stutter. He could not talk in front of people, which I feel is really relevant considering one of the candidates has a stutter, struggles with the fact that he has to talk in front of millions of people, and does stutter. And I think the fact that there are people, it's a good reflection of, there are people who are going to look at that and who looked at King George and judged that and, maybe considered him to not have the capability of being a good leader and a good king because of that, only to realize that it's just something that he has to work through. And it's hard. And first of all, if you don't know what that's like, keep your trap shut. But it has no reflection on the type of character you have and the type of leader you're going to be. And I think that's something that a lot of people hear today. If they watch this film, I think it would be a good reminder to not judge someone based on something like this.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that film?
I loved it. It's directed by Tom Hooper. Well, unfortunately, he did direct Cats. I'm looking at. Poor fella. Welcome to America. No.
Right.
He also did a film earlier called The Damned United, which is about soccer, which, for me, I was not really that interested in that, but it was actually a really good film. But like The King's Speech, like Colin Firth, Jeffrey Rush, we have like these two really good actors, and paired with this, time period before, well, I guess during World War II, as it was, on the cusp of such in 1936. It's just very interesting to see, like, something you don't normally see in politics, especially today, where there's a lot of posturing and, like, you got to be tough, otherwise people won't think of you as a leader. And here's this moment in time where the leader was struggling, during a very pivotal time in history too. So I think it's very interesting to see the context of things like this and other parts, especially during, like, right as World War II was starting and the Third Reich was rising out of Germany. Just how much of a struggle it was for everyone coming out of, like, the Depression and everything. So, yeah, I loved it. It was just kind of like we're all struggling to even speak today.
Yes.
So I think that's it was a great film.
Yeah.
Has
totally agree.
So many things to it. So.
Also, highly recommend.
Yeah. Next we have, a UK related film based on the graphic novel V for Vendetta.
Which I think is very relevant today.
Yeah. A lot of masks today.
I mean, yes, there is that as well.
So I guess a Guy Fawkesian mask would, work.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's interesting that it starts where it's in a world or a time like in the late 2020s, I think, where the U.S. has had a second civil war and a pandemic. Well, the world has had a pandemic, and I feel like, yeah, so we're currently in a pandemic, the world is, and I don't think that anyone can make a good argument that there's no chance that a second civil war is coming. I'm not saying this year, I'm not saying next year, I'm just saying I don't think it's irrational to say that it's possible. I'm just going to throw that out there. But yeah, it's I feel like it's very relevant. Even just starting like on that foundational level.
But also, yeah, the level of control that it ignites in other countries is interesting because we're already seeing that from India to UK to, China, Russia, everything. Everything has like, this country first type of mentality and very nationalist approach to the world. But yeah, that's what V for Vendetta kind of shows, is like how damaging that can be. But also when the true voice of the people needs to be heard too. But I guess that could be subjective.
Yeah, absolutely, which is fine. I think that you could take a lot of things from this film. Whether it's based on the fact that it's basically like a police state that's running the country, and there are very specific groups who are imprisoned, and potentially executed, tortured,
curfews,
the fact that there's oh goodness, I should have looked this up beforehand. The guy who has the the news station or whatever. Yeah. And at one point he finally just comes out and I don't remember what he says, but he says something on air about the chancellor or whatever his name is, the high chancellor. And he's then kidnapped and murdered that night. And it's very against, the media is completely controlled, and it's, if you don't say what you're supposed to say, it's scary.
Stephen Fry, right? The
yeah,
talk show host.
There you go. That guy. Thank you.
I was thinking about the other guy who was England prevails. And
oh, yeah. No, Stephen Fry, you got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's,
yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, V for Vendetta is definitely a very special film. I'm surprised it came out of a graphic novel, something like that.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah. Because I remember I was in art school at the time, and I actually found it in their library, V for Vendetta, the graphic novel, and it's like, it really is. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So on to the more lighthearted films. We have The Campaign with Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis.
Yep. And this one's 8 years old, I think, right around there. So, I mean, it was a little while ago. But really just shows a satirical, comedic version of, there's Will Ferrell is a Democratic congressman running unopposed again for his 5th term, and then all of a sudden this team who's trying to, I think, sell out, it's the town or something, lobbyists, are using Zach Galifianakis' character to run as the Republican candidate just so they can make money off of it in all of this. And
they're puppet Republican.
yes. And it's them just being so hilarious and silly and ridiculous with each other, trying to like fight each other when in reality they both really deep down just want good things for the community, for their town, all of that, the district. And I mean, there's almost no movie with Will Ferrell that you can't just love, and Zach Galifianakis is hilarious. Dan Aykroyd, John Lithgow, like it's got a really good cast.
Yeah.
Jason Sudeikis.
It's probably, I don't know. I just remember the baby kissing scene. They're both trying to get to the baby first. And they're just really heated with each other because it's like, and Will Ferrell goes to punch Zach, and Zach ducks.
Punches the baby.
Yeah. I just remember my friend and I watching that and just laughing our butts off. It's just,
it was a good time. That film is really silly. So yeah, if you're looking for something where you want to laugh at politics and not take it so seriously, this is a really good not example. Option. There we go. Words are hard, you guys.
If you want to laugh at like how people take it so seriously, to some point today, a lot of people are. Yeah. And this is what it looks like, you guys, from third parties watching you guys just, go at it.
Yeah, there's, oh man.
And there's something to that saying, like, don't take yourself too seriously. And
right.
I think this is a good representation of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus, Jay Roach made, like, Bombshell and Trumbo, the director. Mm-hmm. But he also made one of your most hated films.
E.T.
Dinner.
Oh, Dinner for Schmucks.
Yes.
It's so disappointing because it should be amazing with that cast.
Well, hey, you got to start somewhere.
That's true.
At least he made up for it.
That's true. That's true.
I'm just kidding. You're great, Jay. We'd love to have you on the podcast anytime.
We would love it. We won't talk about Dinner for Schmucks once, I promise.
When you make a film in Minnesota. No.
Right? Yeah. So, like us trying to egg directors on, like, hey, come to Minnesota. You can be on our podcast.
Yeah. It's a great honor.
Right, exactly. You're welcome. Yeah. So I think the final film, a little more lighthearted kind of, that I want to talk about is going to be Dave. It's really old. Like it's almost 30 years old now. I think it's from it's from 1993. So I mean, it's up there. Like it has children. Okay, let's just like it's older. But I loved it. I love Kevin Kline. Like I have a little like soft spot in my heart for Kevin Kline.
Yeah.
And then Sigourney Weaver. Like it's just got a really good cast. Ben Kingsley's in it. Kevin Kline plays the president, but then he also plays this guy called Dave. I could also say he was named Dave. And he lives in DC. He has like a temp job, but then he also has a side job where he impersonates the president because he looks just like him, obviously. And so at one point, like the president gets into trouble because he's had an affair with a White House staffer. And so Dave has to come in and like pretend to be him during like some appearance somewhere. And then the president happens to suffer a severe stroke during said rendezvous. And he's now in a coma. So the, oh goodness, I don't even remember who all exactly knows that he's doing that, but it's like...
Yeah, it's like his chief of staff or something.
Yeah, and like the communications director and then like the Secret Service. Oh, and the medical staff. And that's it. Nobody else, like his wife doesn't know. Nobody else knows. And because him and his, like the president and his wife have like basically live completely separate lives. They don't care about each other anymore. And so like she ends up falling back in love with him because she's actually falling in love with Dave because he's not a terrible person. And it's a whole thing. But she also doesn't know that it's him. And yeah. So anyway, in the end, he ends up, Dave specifically ends up running for city council. And the Sigourney Weaver's character, the First Lady, comes to volunteer to help him. And they're like together, and it's really sweet. Because I think the president like dies or something. Or something.
No, I think it gets better. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like 30 years old.
You should watch it.
I could be off on that. But it's just...
So everyone go watch that. It's a good one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Again, if you don't want to take things super seriously, but like you want a good film, it's good.
Yeah. And Ivan Reitman's, I like a lot of his films.
Yeah.
I mean, you like Draft Day.
Love it.
What was obviously Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
you know.
obviously.
Yeah. Oh yeah, My Super Ex-Girlfriend, that was actually pretty good. I'm just looking back at his work, Kindergarten Cop.
Oh, yeah.
Twins.
Classic. But yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely a good presidential movie.
So that's all we've got for you guys today. Again, it is November 2nd. Tomorrow is the last day to vote. I say that because we're all currently voting. So the election is ongoing. It's not just the one day, but tomorrow is the last day of it. So please vote. Figure out if your polling place is open or closed. If it's closed, please figure out where you should go to vote. If you've already voted and you didn't get a sticker, I send you a virtual high five. So does Alan. All of the virtual high fives. So good luck everyone on election day, and we'll catch you later.